How about this? Boldy's big, amazing, perfect draft specials. Boldy's Baps. 27 centimetres. If Bud Light comes to the perfect draft, I'll... Well, hello there, perfect drafters. How are we doing? Are we well? Good. Right. We're into the April edition of the news thing. I've actually come out with a better name. I've come out with, well, a better name than news thing. Okay. How about this? Boldy's big, amazing, perfect draft specials. Boldy's Baps. Hey, Boldy's Baps. Every month. Have a munch. Don't have a munch. So what is the first news article of this month? Well, it's got to be new kegs, hasn't it? It's got to be new kegs. We've been promised these 6 new kegs. Now, we've not had 6, not yet. So we've obviously had, we've had one of the more controversial kegs, probably since Tenants, released on the Perfect Draft this month. That being Bud Light. I mean, come on. Who's going to buy Bud Light? Who's going to buy Bud Light? Me. I've bought it and I'll review it. But look, you know, let's not get carried away. If you don't want it, don't buy it. My view is every keg has got its time, it's got its place. That's coming in at £28.90 and you're looking at 3.5% on that Bud Light. You know, that's what offends some people, but you've got to think why they're doing it. They're expanding the range. They're opening up the perfect draft to more people. That's not a bad thing. That ain't a bad thing. And not only that, you've got to face facts. Calories do matter to a lot of people nowadays. I mean, look, they're banging calories on everything. Yeah, you can't open a menu without calories being in your face. So, calories are important. And therefore, they've brought out a lighter beer. You know, it's not the end of the world, people. Let's see what it tastes like. And the other point around Bud Light is they are trying to crack the US market. So it's not a bad one to open up with. Now, if you go to the US, Bud Light isn't 3.5%. So that's a bit of a shame. Why have they not made it the same? I don't know. But we'll see what that Bud Light tastes like in a future review, people. Then we've got the other brand new keg, the St. Frulian Blonde. Yeah. So that one, a bit more of a classy little belter. You're looking at £42.90 and you're looking at 7% on that one. So one, to be respected, to be supped lightly and not be hammered down. Otherwise you're hammered. So that is a strong blonde ale. And now, while I've just said about Bud Light expanding the range on the Perfect Draft, there are some blondes already on the Perfect Draft. You've got to look at Left Blonde, obviously. And the Left Blonde comes in at 6.6%. You've got a Jeanette Bio Blonde. Now, I've not had that one. And that is a weaker blonde at 4.5%. So that's a bit the other end of the old percentage scale in terms of the blonde ales. And then, just like the Left Blonde, you've got another one that's very close in percentage to that new St. Frulian Blonde. And that is La Trappe, which is an absolute belter. That's a perler. And that is a 6.5%er. So, where's the St. Frulian? Where she blows. And that is, like I say, a 7%er. So a review of that coming up soon as well. And that leads us nicely into the other blonde that was released, the other new keg, which is that Victoria. A rival beer to Duvel from InBev. And now we're looking at that on the Perfect Draft. That was predicted, obviously, because it was on the sister site on the last news edition. And that's even stronger than this new St. Frulian because that one's 8.5%. Now that Victoria Blonde, just like the St. Frulian, is another £42.90 keg. So again, over that £40 mark. Bit of a stinger on the old wallet. And then I say there's been 3/4 new kegs because the Lux has also come back onto the Perfect Draft. Now I have done a review on that, did it a while back, so it's more of a re-release. So I'm not sure if they're classing that as a new keg amongst the 6 new kegs that they were saying was coming. So Lux is back on. That's a good one. It's a pale ale. It's 5% and it's £40.90 now. Now I think I did pay around £38 back in the day for that. So with the price increases, that's about right. £40.90. So they're the new kegs. They're the 3/4 new kegs onto the PerfectDraft. So up next, what else have we got? We've also got a digital Easter egg hunt. Yeah, so this is one of those kind of incentives that they often do to try and get us to buy more kegs. But basically over this Easter period, whenever you buy a PerfectDraft keg, you are entered into a draw. That draw is for £100 worth of beer tokens. So well worth having, and basically you're into it anyway. So if you get drawn out and you win that, happy days. You've had to do nothing for it. Interesting that they're doing that digitally this time rather than actually putting something in your box, because there's been so many complaints, obviously, of Yodel banging into your box, ripping it open, looking for those prize-winning tickets, because obviously they do that loads. But yeah, I mean, basically there's not been a Beer Hawk box not opened, you know, when they do these giveaways. So now they're saying we're doing it digitally, fair play to them. That's what they're doing. So watch out on your email, because you never know. If you've won, you could have a lucky old email from Beer Hawk saying you've got £100 worth of beer tokens. So well worth checking out your email. And that is only running up until the 17th of April. So not long left. In fact, when this video goes out, you've only got a couple of days. So if you are thinking of getting a keg or 2 or 3 or 10, then basically fire that order in, because you will then be entered into that prize draw. And then penultimately, is that a word? Penultimately? Anyway, just the, you know, second from last piece. So nice to see from Beer Hawk a bit of support for Ukraine. Absolute belters. Well done, Beer Hawk. And it's something like Chaviska, something like that. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it's their most loved lager. And it's going to be not just in cans, but also on a PerfectDraft keg. So happy days there as well. So that's a new lager. I doubt that comes into the new kegs that are being released. I'm sure it'll be a limited edition jobbo. But the profits all go to Ukrainian aid, which is belting. It's a 4.8% lager. It could be a nice refreshing one for the summer. So I reckon that's well worth a plump. And then finally, we have got PerfectDrafter of the month. Now this chap, he does comment on quite a lot of my videos and he's knowledgeable. He does decent length comments. He's a good old boy. His name's Luke Stacey. He's owned a PerfectDraft now for 2 years. In terms of his favourite keg on the PerfectDraft, now pint for pint, he would go for a Lowenbrow. But, and I don't know if that's the Oktoberfest version, I think it's just the standard. I think he just said that's a standard. Fair enough, fair play, good old beer. But one of his favourites is Pineapple Express. So he's got to be a little bit gutted that that's harder to get hold of. But Pineapple Express, which is a fruity little number and well worth a go if you can get it. Least favourite keg, he's got the same kind of taste as me here. If you do have a look over my back catalogue of reviews, you'll see that I did review this keg. The Jeanette Bio. And I presume he does mean the white one. I mean, I think they did a fruit one as well. And there is obviously that Jeanette Bio blonde now as well. But I presume he means the Jeanette Bio white. It was, nah, it weren't for me either, Luke. And I've got to say, it tasted, I thought, a bit like dishwater. It was one of my least favourite kegs. And it's one of his least favourite kegs as well. In terms of what he would like to see on the PerfectDraft, and this was a bit of a left field suggestion, I've got to admit I did not see this coming. He would like to see Miller Genuine Draft. Miller. Fair enough. Now he does claim to have an almost supernatural gift to seek out those really obscure Euro lagers. So Luke, fair play to you, chap. You are the PerfectDrafter of this month. And I hope that Miller Genuine Draft comes to the PerfectDraft. I don't think it will, but there you go. You don't get anything for being a PerfectDrafter of the month apart from the fact that you give me some information and then I tell other people. So if you want to be a PerfectDrafter of the month, then please look in the description. There's a link to my form on my website. Fill out that and you might be PerfectDrafter of the month. One time, You never know, at some point I might give something away. I might. So, hopefully you like that. Please do like the video, please do subscribe, it always helps. But until next time, Perfect Drafters, and the next one will be that left brun. Yeah, it's the left brun. That's what I'm going to be reviewing. I'm supping my last few pints of that Franciscana Royale. Poof! And I can't wait for that very last pint. Apparently it's like a milkshake. Might film that. Anyway, it will be the left brun, the next video. But until next time, people, have an absolute belter of a weekend. Enjoy whatever you're doing. It's a good old bank holiday Easter special. So I hope you do. Have a few ales with your chocolate. Enjoy them. Have a good break. Cheers, Perfect Drafters. Cheers.